Inquire Media, and I'm joined today by Zed Mahmood. How are you?
I'm good,
Yeah?
vibing. How are you?
I'm good. How was your day?
It's been busy. It's been a long one, but
Mhm.
we're here. We're getting
Okay.
through it.
Period. Okay, let's get into it then. What plans does Kent Union currently have to improve sustainability at Kent and to embed these topics into the Kent curriculum?
This is a really important topic to me and something that I'm really focused on.
Mhm.
We've been involved in a curriculum subgroup that focuses on sustainability and embedding into the curriculum. That's
Mhm.
been really important. So myself and the VP Academic Experience sit on that, and we really work to ensure that every course and every curriculum has sustainability as a core part of it, because it's important, especially for our generation. Learning how we can um, have sustainable values within our careers is important,
Mhm.
and also embedding the sustainability development goals from the UN. That is something we're trying to do, and that's something the University of Kent has done really well.
Mhm.
Um, you see it in my course, originally business and management. We had sustainability as a factor of everything. Like every assignment I did, there was always a sustainability section in it.
Oh wow.
So it was really important. We want to replicate that in all areas. Because when you think of sustainability,
Mhm.
it is usually like you think about anthropology or conservation and things
Yeah.
like that, where
Yeah.
it's a focus, but it should be a focus even in law, in
That's
medicine.
just what I was gonna say because I
Yeah.
do law and I don't think
It's part of it.
we've touched on it even once.
This is really important. Yeah, so this type of feedback is important too. We'll be, I think, hopefully collecting some student feedback as well
Mhm.
in the coming months, but also in the new academic year, on how sustainability is looking in your curriculum and how we can better improve it.
Mhm.
Right now, it's the mapping out stage of all the curriculums there are and all the modules, courses, and where they lie on that sustainability scale. Like how important is sustainability part of it?
So is it more so like sustainable practices?
Exactly,
Okay.
because sustainability is a very broad term.
Yeah,
You can look at
exactly.
climate action, climate change, but also focus on the critical thinking side of things. How you have a carbon footprint, even things like when it comes to sustainability of people and cultures within when you talk about climate change,
Yeah.
embedding that into subjects like law is really important.
Okay, thank you so much. That was a great answer. Okay. In your report, you mentioned that there is still ways to go to improve the student experience at the Medway campus. What else is being done, and what other plans do you have to create an equitable experience for Medway students?
This is a massively important thing for me. As I've said, Medway student through and through.
Yeah.
We've worked really hard to make sure that there is an equitable experience there so far, and there is disparity, and we know that everything that I've done in terms of cost of living here in the Canterbury campus, I've replicated in Medway as well, so they have the same access to the same work that we do here.
Yeah.
That includes the free breakfast at the Oasis Lounge as well as the Deep End, and you also have the £3 meals in the Deep End and the Pilkington Cafe. There's also things to do with actual student engagement things where people want events, networking,
Yeah.
socials, things like that are really important in Medway. And that's work I'm doing with the VP Postgraduate Experience and the VP Student Engagement to work on that. We're actually going to Medway in 2 weeks' time and hosting like a Give It a Go event there and doing also a roaming forum so we can collect feedback from students, how we can better improve it. There's also a brand new Medway student experience committee that we created. So that specifically focuses on the ground events on how we can improve that student experience in Medway and has really high up people in the university and including the head of Medway operations. So it's really important to have that group to talk about what events students want to see, and we are that student voice that bring that aspect in. So it's really, really useful.
Yeah, because I think I recently realized that if you want to join a society, you would have to, for certain societies, you have to come to the Canterbury campus to be able to engage in the society's sports and just everything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's making sure that they have the societies there.
Mhm.
It's been, I think, after the pandemic as well, loads of societies didn't have homes, didn't have people to run them. And my society was one of them, Medway Business Society, just people not engaging with them. And that's something we really need to work on with the hub and the other partner students unions
Yeah.
in improving the visibility of the societies and also showing students that if they want to create a society, want to create a community, we can provide them all the resources and support needed to do that.
Amazing. Okay. During the last scrutiny panel, I asked you what could be done to improve trans visibility on campus. Is any work currently being done in Kent Union to this effect?
100%. This is a topic on all of our minds, and especially with the current climate and the current attack on trans rights in the UK, but also in the world. It's a massive thing for us to ensure that trans visibility is there through and through. We saw that with LGBTQ plus History Month and in the exhibition that was done as well, that we played a part in. There was a huge focus on trans visibility and trans pride. That's really important to highlight. We also had a trans speaker come in, speak about their experience and what it means to be trans, but also what it means for other people to understand what being trans is, right? And understanding what to do and what questions to ask and what's okay. It's really important because a lot of the times,
that's really, really important.
yeah, we disregard, some of the things because of the way we've been brought up, and the things you hear in the media, they're horrible. They are
an attack.
It's literally a straight up attack on trans people, and it's unacceptable. And we at Kent Union do not stand for it. I personally will never stand for it. It's not, it's disgusting, and we need to challenge that behavior. If we see that here, we want to challenge it every single day. We are also working with a university who are actually sponsoring Canterbury Pride this year, and we're having our Pride after party here at the venue as well. So we're really making it's a big slay. We're really trying to make trans visibility a focus of that as well, and making sure that we are representing and showing up and showing out for our trans students.
Love that.
Beyond that, that's all, action, performative stuff, and it's important. It's important for the visibility.
Tangible.
Exactly.
Changes.
And that came from this year. We had the Gender Affirmation Fund.
Okay.
We've now found a sustainable funding source for it, so it will continue on next year as well. So that's really important as well, to provide our trans, non-binary, and gender-neutral students that the resources needed to be able to buy the things to feel comfortable in their skin. And that's something that we want to continue doing. Continue working with the VP Welfare and Community to improve accessibility for trans students here as well. That includes graduations and making sure that they're not dead named, making sure that their certificates of the name that reflects them now, making sure that there's access to toilets for trans students all over campus. That's important stuff.
Very
and we'll continue working on that.
Okay. Are there any other protected groups that you think may need support in the future?
100%. I think, every group that is underprivileged and has barriers in place is a group we need to focus on. Black students is the main one here because we had such a diversifying student body over the past few years. Our Black student voices will actually inform a lot of the work that we need to do to remove the barrier for Black students when it comes to academic success, academic attainment, but also social engagement. It's important to provide spaces for those communities that they feel comfortable in and feel like it's them, it's their place. So we'll continue to work on that, and that research is coming to a close hopefully by August, and we'll have real tangible recommendation of what we can do better here at Kent. And we continue pushing the university on its EDI strategy. Also working with groups like ACS, Nigerian Society, POCAS, Queer POC Society, in making sure that they get all the support needed to provide these spaces and these safe spaces for students to express themselves and to really find their place here at Kent, find belonging at Kent. We also, they are neurodiverse. I think a lot of people in this world are neurodiverse at some level, just don't realize it until sometimes when it comes to adults. And the same thing for myself. I realized I have ADHD like in my final year, so
oh my God,
it's crazy to think about it. I was like, oh, that's just normal. It's not. It's the way your brain works, but we want to be able to provide the resources and support needed when it comes to student support, when it comes to your academic support as well, in that you can succeed even with any neurodiversity, any disability you may have.
I think that's really important, but also especially just making sure that they're aware that the support is available to them as 100%.
Well. Yeah, that transparency is needed, and students should be able to access that from the get-go. If they find things hard for them, go to student support and well-being, talk through it, and maybe that's something that is triggered by a neurodiversity, and you want to be able to tackle that from the get-go. Don't want to kind of get your final year and be like, oh, I have this now, and not have the support you need to be able to succeed.
Yeah, definitely. In your report, you stated that there is an ongoing process to challenge the Department of Education with the cost of living open letter. How do you plan on restoring these relationships with the NUS in order to help achieve this goal?
I've already started this work. Literally.
Love that. You're so on it.
No, I'm on it. The day I got back after the elections, and thank you for the re-election. As I got back, I emailed the NUS, and I've started working with them on campaigns around cost of living, but also other campaigns that they're working on, like the Turn Up campaign, which is to improve voter registration and voter ID rules and the visibility of it, because voting is important, especially on a national and local level. We want to be able to remove the barriers that this government is deciding to put in place when it comes to voter ID and limiting young people from voting and from stopping them, basically. We need to be able to push that out there and give people the opportunity to register to vote, and also, if they don't have a valid form of voter ID, to get a voter registration certificate from the local authority. And I've been in touch with the Canterbury City Council as well, and they're sending out emails, sending out letters, really pushing for it and making sure that everyone who is eligible to vote votes. And we've also organized a meeting actually with the NUS elected officers and some of the key membership services team to discuss on how we can work better together from a Kent Union perspective and from an NUS perspective, because I want to continue challenging them to get better. There are a lot of issues in NUS that I know from a personal experience, and I want to make them better. If we're staying in, we're in, and we're going to be fighting for it, and making sure that the NUS is representing every single student effectively.
Okay. We have no questions for the audience, but I just want to say, what does the next year for you look like?
It's full of elected official again. It's full of hope, and it's full of more good work. I feel re-energized and motivated to continue the work that I've been doing, and I'm really grateful for every single person that voted for me. And I want to show up and show out for you guys and for every single student. I want to leave this place in a better place than when I found it. And I'll continue to tackle the cost of living crisis. I'll continue to tackle the mental health issues that are facing students, and making sure that there are provisions in place working towards a more equitable campus, both here in Canterbury and in Medway, and ensuring that there is inclusivity at a focus for every single student here.
Thank you so much.
No worries. My pleasure.
Oh my God, it's always that weird second when it pauses.